ThaBadbrey Astral Traveler, I am back, and I am going to tell you how you can achieve an astral projection fairly easily and fairly quickly, alright? Now, this method I used to use myself back in 2011 when I first started gaining control, well, conscious control over my astral projections. Before that time, my astral projections would just take place and I would have no control of what was going on and I didn't really understand what was happening, okay? Now, the way this works is as follows, yeah? Now, I assume that you've already watched the other video on sleep paralysis. If not, I would advise you to watch the video on sleep paralysis, alright? Because that actually explains what happens when you dream, how you reach the dream state, which is the mental realm, and when you wake up, how your monadic self falls down through the realms of vibration from the mental realm down into the astral realm, then into the etheric realm, then back into the physical body, and then you wake up. Alright? So, to achieve astral projection, to consciously achieve it from being in a dream state, yeah, which is like a quick way of getting there, alright, fairly easily and quickly, you need to be in a dream first, alright? So, I assume you've fallen asleep, you're inside the mental realm, you're in a dream state already, alright? And when you're in this dream state, what you want to do, yeah, is you want to cause yourself to go into the first stages of waking up, alright? Now, when you wake up, when you're in the mental realm, a vortex opens up in the mental realm, alright? And this vortex creates a pathway from the mental realm down into the astral realm, then down into the etheric realm, then back into the physical body. And then the monadic self, which is your perspective of what you can see and experience due to being in the realm you're actually in, that monad, or the monadic self, falls all the way back down through that pathway back into the physical body. So what usually happens, you'll be in your mental realm, you'll be dreaming, and then the vortex opens up, and then you look around in the dream and all of the images you see in the dream start merging into one another, alright? And it starts to become kind of blurry. Sometimes you experience spinning and you might feel like you're falling, because you're actually falling down, alright? And usually you go all the way from the mental back into the physical realm and then you actually wake up as a result of that, alright? Now, you can create this vortex yourself while you're inside the dream. And the way to do it is, when you're in the dream, you need to reach a state of lucidity. You need to change the dream itself into a lucid dream. And there's various ways of approaching it. The way I approach it is, if I'm dreaming, in order to reach lucidity, what usually happens is this. I would be in my dream, and then I would actually experience or witness something in the dream that I know for sure would not take place in the physical realm. I would see something that defies the laws of physics, alright? And for me, when I see something occur that is completely out of the ordinary, that would never take place in the physical realm, I know straight away that I must be dreaming, and therefore the dream becomes lucid straight away, alright? So for example, I'll be in my dream, I'll be walking down the road as normal, and then I might see like a floating brick just floating in the air, just float past, and I look at it and I'm thinking to myself, is that supposed to be there? Now, when you're in a dream, usually you just take it at face value. You just say to yourself, it's a floating brick. Yeah, that's normal. But then there's something in you. With me, there's something in me that says, hold on a minute, that does not make sense. Why am I seeing a floating brick? And then I realize it's a cue. It's a cue to tell me that I'm actually dreaming. And then the dream becomes lucid, all right? Or I might see something else. I might see like an animal that I know does not exist in the physical realm. Or I might break a glass window in the dream. Like once I broke a glass window in the dream and it didn't break, it smashed, and then all the particles came back together and the window came back as new. As soon as I saw that, I realized, I said to myself, this is a dream, and then it becomes lucid. That's just my method of getting into lucidity. I see something that does not make any sense. Or another example, when I was getting into an astral projective experience, in the dream, I was downstairs in the toilet, okay? And I looked at the window that was in the toilet. I got a toilet with one window. And this window was way too high up on the wall. It wasn't in a place it's supposed to be. It was way too high up. And I was just, in the dream, I was standing there staring at the window. And I was thinking to myself, something's not right about this window. Why is it so high up? And then it hit me. I thought to myself, it means I'm dreaming, because I know the window couldn't have been moved. Therefore, I'm in a dream. And then from there, you reach lucidity. Another way of reaching lucidity, which a lot of people actually use, which works for a lot of people, is this. During the time, just before you go to sleep, or during meditation, what you can do is get a piece of paper and draw a symbol. Draw a symbol on that piece of paper. And this symbol is something unique to you, alright? And make sure you remember what that symbol looks like. And before you go to sleep, you say to yourself, if I'm dreaming, in order for me to remind myself that I'm actually dreaming, I will see this symbol in the dream, alright? Kind of like, what's it called? A totem. Kind of like, if you've seen the film Inception, it's like a totem, where like, to remind yourself that you're actually in a dream, you actually see something that is unique to you. Now, this might take some time to get used to it, but if you, every night before you want to actually project or before you dream, if you say to yourself, I want to know that I'm dreaming in order to reach a lucid dream, and in order to remind myself that I'm dreaming, I will see the symbol, alright? And meditate on that symbol, alright? Meditate on that symbol. And what should happen is when you're inside the dream state in the mental realm, you should be able to kind of get to a point where you see that symbol and it straight away reminds you that you're dreaming and you reach a state of lucidity, alright? That's another way of doing it, alright? Now, as soon as you reach this lucid state of dreaming and you know you're in the dream, what you can do sometimes, what I usually do, as soon as I realize I'm dreaming, and I'm inside the lucid dream, I start flying around, I start having fun. But then if you want to reach astral projection, you need to move from the mental realm. And the way it's done is this. You're in the dream, you've reached lucidity, all right? You've seen your symbol, yeah? You've seen your cue, you realize you're dreaming. As soon as you realize you're dreaming, this is what I've done. Spin around on the spot, anti-clockwise as fast as possible. Just keep spinning. In the dream, spin around, anti-clockwise as fast as possible, all right? And as you do this, you keep spinning and spinning, what you'll see is all of the images in the dream will start to merge into one another, all right? And then you'll start to experience the sensation of falling. What you've done, basically, is you've opened up the vortex yourself. The pathway from the mental realm back down into the physical realm. You've opened up that vortex yourself through the act of creating a spinning scenario, all right? And then, once that vortex is open, your physical body, in line with the rest of the subtler bodies, the mental body, the etheric body, the astral body, it starts to pull the monadic self, which is the part of you that's experiencing the realm you're in. It pulls it down through those realms. So you're in the mental realm, you've reached lucidity, and then now you're spinning around, you've opened up the vortex, and now you're traveling down from the mental realm and you're going down into the astral realm. Now, as soon as you get to the astral realm, yeah, what you want to do is stop spinning. Stop that spinning sensation. Stop that spinning sensation, okay? Because you're not actually spinning. It's like a mental visualization that causes you to feel the sensation of spinning. Once you reach the astral realm, and you'll know, because you won't be in a dream state anymore. You won't be in the mental realm. You won't be able to see any of the images from the dream. But you won't be exactly awake. You'll be in an in-between state. Once you reach that in-between state, that's when you're in the astral realm. All right? So once you're there, you stop that spinning completely. And then you'll find yourself kind of in a floating kind of in-between state. And then at that point, you can open your eyes if you want to. Or you can keep them closed. But what you should do at that point is attempt to sit up in your bed. Alright? Because what will happen is your physical body will be here. Your etheric body will be slightly above it. And then your astral body will be like slightly above it. Alright? They're kind of all lined up in the same space. Occupying the same space while at the same time not occupying the same space. It's very hard to explain in physical terms. But then, what happens is as soon as you try to sit up, your astral body will sit up, all right? And your etheric and physical body will stay where they are. The physical body will stay on the bed, and the etheric body will stay floating just above the physical, and your astral body will just kind of float upwards, and then you can go into an astral projection, all right? So, again, recap from the beginning, all right? From the beginning. You're dreaming, you're in the mental realm. You see your cue that tells you that you are actually dreaming. You reach into a state of lucidity. It turns into a lucid dream. You spin around anti-clockwise on a spot as fast as possible. This opens up a vortex that opens up a vortex from the mental realm down into the astral realm, all right? And down into the etheric realm and down into the physical realm. And as you fall down through from the mental realm into the astral, you stop spinning, okay? And once you stop spinning, that vortex will stop pulling you downwards, yeah? Because when you stop spinning, you're closing that vortex. It's like you're opening and closing the vortex yourself. You're gaining control of this vortex rather than it controlling you, all right? And then once you get to that astral realm and you've stopped spinning, you attempt to sit up and your astral body sits up and then you astrally project. Simple. That's the technique I've used. I used to use in 2011. I don't use that technique anymore. I actually do it in a different way now. I achieve astral projection in a completely different way without using that. But in the beginning, that's what I did and it worked very well, all right? Now, what could happen is that if your vibrational centers have not been unblocked, then you could have trouble getting out of your physical body astrally, all right? With me, all of my vibrational centers, otherwise known as chakras, I would be able to open them all up during meditation. Before I would actually go to sleep or try to get into the state of astral projection, I would meditate. And as I meditate, I would imagine all of my chakras opening up one by one from the root chakra right up to the crown. And every time I would get to the crown, it would take much longer for it to open and there was a blockage that was actually there. And as a result of that, whenever I would astrally project, my astral body would separate from the physical. But then it will get stuck right here on my crown. I would feel like I'm stuck, lodged in my body by my head. My head will be stuck. So I'll be like floating. My physical body will be here. My astral body will be floating out, legs in the air. But my astral head will be stuck, lodged in the same place as my physical head. All right? And in order to combat that, what I did, it took me a good couple of months of just meditating and slowly imagining this crown chakra opening up and removing emotional blockages that were taking place in my life at that time that were causing the crown chakra to be blocked. All right? Once I was able to open all of my vibrational centers, I was able to astrally project as a result. Also, it's advisable for you to call on your benevolent ancestors for protection when you're going into astral projection. You can also call upon various deities, whichever system you are using, whichever spiritual system you're using, call upon those deities as well as your benevolent ancestors and your spirit guides to actually give you guidance and help and protection while you're actually doing this, all right? Rather than just jumping into the astral realm alone, all right? It will help if you call on those deities that can actually help you, those spiritual friends that you have, your spirit guides, if you're in contact with them, your benevolent ancestors, and various spiritual deities that you may be working with within the particular system you're using, all right? So, that's basically how you can reach astral projection quite quickly after being in a mental realm in a lucid dream state, all right? You create a vortex, you come back down, you get to the astral, and you wake up. You get up in the astral, not the physical. You get up in the astral, all right? So, yeah, that's that method. You have any questions, leave it in the comment box. And I will be back to explain a few other concepts to do with astral projection, all right? ThaBadbrey Astral Traveler. Stay tuned.